Right. Okay, so good morning to all those who have joined late. So we are just taking a recap of what we have seen in last session. So in last session, we have seen about the block diagram of op-amp. So we understood that the op-amp in itself is nothing but a combination of four stages, four different stages: input stage, intermediate stage, level shifting circuit, and output stage. Okay. And whenever you are going to explain these particular stages, or suppose the question asked like this, that explain the different stages in op-amp with the help of suitable block diagram, then 2 points you should always remember: that you need to mention which circuit is used in that particular stage and the function of that stage. These 2 points should be mentioned clearly in the explanation. All right. So now in first input stage, we have seen that first input stage is nothing but double-ended high gain differential amplifier. Double-ended means it is having two input and two output. Okay. So it is also called as dual input, right? Dual input means two input, and balanced output means having two output. And it will be differential amplifier. So we know that differential amplifier is nothing but it will amplify the difference between two inputs. And what is the function of input stage? Main function of input stage is to provide the gain to the op-amp. Maximum gain is provided by input stage. Second function is it also determines the input resistance of op-amp, right? So it also determines the input resistance of op-amp. So these are the two main functions of input stage. And which circuit is used in input stage? That is dual input balanced output differential amplifier. What about second stage? Second stage is nothing but intermediate stage. So again we know that second stage is also differential amplifier. Which circuit is used? Dual input but unbalanced output differential amplifier. Why unbalanced? Because you can observe here that only one output is taken, not two outputs. Initially for the input stage there were two outputs, so that's why it is called as balanced output differential amplifier. But intermediate stage there is only one single ended output, so that's why it is called as unbalanced differential amplifier. Okay, so which circuit is used in intermediate stage? Dual input unbalanced output differential amplifier. What is the function of this stage? It will provide again additional voltage gain to the op amp. This is the function, this is its function. All right. Then there comes third stage, that is level shifting circuit. So what happens between first stage and second stage? We have used direct coupling. What do you mean by direct coupling? That there is no electronic component is used for the coupling. So directly output of input stage is given to the input of intermediate stage. So this is called as direct coupling. So what happened due to this direct coupling? That DC will be amplified. Okay, DC signal will be amplified, and hence the level will shift upward. Okay, so what is the main function of this level shifting circuit is? The level shifting circuit will so level will shift upward, and because of that upward shift in level there might be few problems in your op amp. So we don't want that particular thing. We always want our DC level should be fixed at 0 volt for the proper functioning of op amp. So the function of this level shifting circuit or this level shifting stage is to bring down the DC level back to 0 volt, to bring down DC level at ground potential. This is the function of level shifting circuit. And which circuitry used here in level shifting? Emitter follower circuit is used. All right. Now about final stage. So output stage, is our final stage. Which circuit is used in output stage? It is complementary push-pull amplifier. And what is the function of output stage? So the function of output stage is it increases the output voltage swing and current supplying capacity of op amp. Alright. It also used to determine the output resistance. So output resistance should be low. So these are the functions of output stages. Right. So in the explanation, you should be clearly mentioning which circuitry is used in each and every state and what is the function of each and every state. Okay. So we have seen this particular part in the last session. We have started discussing the op amp parameters. There are different parameters of op amp and its definitions and formula you should remember. These are important. In examination, they might ask you, okay, what is input bias current and all. So definition part भी आ सकता है. So now in simple way, I will be explaining to you this that what is input bias current. So let's say this is your op amp, schematic symbol of op amp. Op amp is having non-inverting terminal and inverting terminal. Both are grounded, inverting as well as non-inverting are grounded. The current flowing through non-inverting terminal, let's say it is IB1, and current flowing through inverting terminal, let's say it is IB2. This VCC and VE are nothing but the external power supply voltages. Okay, in order to work your operational amplifier, it requires dual power supply. Dual means एक तो यहाँ पे +12 वोल्ट दिया आपने, तो नीचे भी आप क्या दोगे -12 वोल्ट. Okay, plus minus combination, and this is your output. So now input bias current is nothing but the average of IB1 plus IB2 divided by 2, means the average of IB1 and IB2. It is called as input bias currents. Means whenever there is no current, actually whenever there is no signal applied, then there will be some minute current flowing through this particular op amp, and we don't want, ideally this current should be zero. Okay, but practically around 80 nanoampere of current is found. It is present there, but ideally they should be zero. Similarly, what is input offset current? So input offset current is given by the difference between this IB1 and IB2. Again, this is also, ideally we want this particular offset current should be zero, but practically its value is 20 nanoampere. Okay. Then we have seen input offset voltage. So what was input offset voltage? So what happens in ideal op amp, when both inputs are at 0 volt, the output should be also 0 volt. Right, this is the required case. If your inputs are 0, if your inputs are at 0 volt, then your output should be also 0. But what happens due to imbalances within the device? There will be very small amount of voltage appear at the output. Okay, means even though you are giving 0 input, you will still get some finite amount, very small will be there, very small voltage will appear at the output. So this extra voltage, it is nothing but it is called as a error voltage also, right? But we don't want that particular, जब आपका input दोनों 0 है तब आपका output you should always get to the 0. So now in that case, this extra voltage can be eliminated by giving a small voltage called as input offset voltage to the amplifier. So what we will do in order to remove the output voltage, in order to make 0 output voltage, you will take one voltage supply or voltage source at the input, and you will vary it. You will vary it till you are getting output voltage equals to 0 volt. And that additional voltage which is required to null the output voltage is called as input offset voltage. So again, ideally we don't want this particular input offset voltage. The value of input offset voltage should be ideally 0, but practically it is appearing as 1 millivolt. Okay, so until this particular point we have discussed this particular point in the last session itself. I have just recapitulated for you. So in case if any one of you have missed the earlier lecture, so it will be now clear to you. Alright, then we will proceed with today's discussion. The next parameter is common mode rejection ratio. It is also called as CMRR. Okay, so now in op-amp, the output voltage is proportional to the difference between voltages applied to its two input terminals. Now we know that, right? VO, that is output voltage of op-amp, is nothing but gain multiplied by differential voltage. Input differential voltage. ID stands for input differential voltage. So what is VID? VID is nothing but the difference between V1 and V2. And what is V1 and V2? V1 is nothing but the voltage applied to the non-inverting terminal, and V2 is nothing but the voltage applied to the inverting terminal. So the difference between inverting and non-inverting terminal will be amplified and we will get the output. Okay, but what happens when two input voltages are equal? Suppose V1 and V2 we have applied same. So what should happen? आउटपुट क्या आना चाहिए आपको? Suppose V1 and V2 are same, then what should be?
0.
Yeah,
0.
obviously, right. Suppose V1 and V2 are equals to, let's say, 5 volt, then 5 minus 5 will be 0 and output should be 0. Okay, same mentioned is here. When two input voltages are equal, ideally the output voltages should be 0. That means a signal which is applied to both input terminals of op-amp is called as common mode signal. Now this is the definition of common mode signal. What do you mean by common mode signal? Signal which is applied to both of the inputs, non-inverting and inverting. Same input अगर आपने apply किया तो that signal will be called as common mode signal. And अगर different voltages, if you are given different voltages, then that signal will be differential mode signal. So there are two types of signals: differential mode signal and common mode. When both signals, that is signal at non-inverting and signal at inverting, are same, then that signal will be called as common mode signal. So usually what happens, these common mode signals are nothing but an unwanted noise. Always remember this point. So basically the noise is treated as common mode signal. Okay, and what is actually a CMRR? That the ability of an op-amp to suppress common mode signals. Now just assume that, suppose common mode signal, the example of common mode signal is noise. Is noise desirable or undesirable? It is certainly undesirable. We don't want any kind of noise in our electronic devices. So that means this common mode signal should not be, it is not allowed, actually it is not desired, right? जो signals दोनों भी terminal पे at an equivalent amount add होते हैं, that is common mode signal. These signals are unwanted. Why? Because these signals are nothing but generally unwanted noise voltage. So we don't want common mode signal, hence we will suppress that signal, right? Suppress means we want minimum amount of signal. So this ability of an op-amp to suppress common mode signals is expressed in terms of common mode rejection ratio. Okay, so what is CMRR actually? So it is nothing but the ability of op-amp to suppress common mode signals. Common mode signals are nothing but a noise signal. Just remember like that. Okay, all right. So now again CMRR is defined as, so these are the mathematical formulas and you should remember those. That CMRR is defined as the ratio of differential voltage gain to the common voltage gain. This is how you can calculate CMRR. AD stands for differential voltage gain and AC stands for common mode voltage gain. Okay. So now again in dB it is expressed as in decibels. So what happens, generally these values are very large. So we use the logarithmic scale to compress the value. What is the use of logarithmic scale? We have already studied in the our school, in our school, right? Log, anti-log. What was the use of them? By using logarithmic scale, we can actually represent a large number into very small, right? So CMRR can be also calculated in decibel as using this formula 20 log to the base 10 AD upon AC. So this is just for your information. Okay, there won't be any question regarding this. This is just for your understanding, where AD is nothing but the differential voltage gain and AC is nothing but the common mode voltage gain. Now tell me that we don't want in this, I will be focusing on this formula. Okay, so differential voltage is required, but we don't want common mode voltage. So numerator is required to us and denominator we don't want denominator. Why we don't want denominator? Because generally common mode, sorry, this should be n. Okay, spelling mistake is there, sorry. So this should be common mode voltage gain should be as minimum as possible, because common mode signals are nothing but noise signal and there is no need to amplify your noise. You know, gain is nothing but a parameter of amplification. So we don't want this particular, we want this denominator to be as minimum as possible. So let's say as minimum as possible जब भी मैं बात करता हूँ, then if I'm talking about the ideal value, then ideal value should be, denominator ideal value should be 0, because I want this part to be as minimum as possible. So ideally it should be 0. So anything divided by 0, it will be equal to, anyone?
Infinity.
Right. So anything numerator आपका कुछ भी हो शायद चले तो, but anything divided by 0 it will be infinity. So that means the ideal value of CMRR, it should be infinite. Now this is very important point. Suppose the question has been asked like this, that what is CMRR? Okay, so you knew what is CMRR and what should be the ideal value of CMRR. Then suppose you are told that CMRR should be infinite, but why we want CMRR infinite? This is the next question. So you should be able to explain them that sir, CMRR is nothing but the differential voltage gain divided by common mode voltage gain. We want differential voltage, but we don't want common mode, because common mode signals are nothing but the noise. So denominator should be as minimum as possible. That means ideally denominator should be 0. So when denominator will be 0, ideally CMRR will be infinite. Okay, so this is very important point. And suppose the two op amps are given to you, right? Two different op amp are given to you, let's say, and CMRR of first op amp is 20 decibel, just for the assumption, okay, random value है. फर्स्ट op amp का CMRR है 20 डेसिबल एंड सेकेंड वन का है 30 डेसिबल. और अगर आपको चूज करना है बिटवीन टू op amp, विच op amp विल यू चूज? 20 डेसिबल CMRR वाला कि 30 डेसिबल CMRR वाला? Anyone can reply? Suppose there are two op amps and I have told you that CMRR of first op amp is 20 decibel, and second op amp is having CMRR of 30 dB. Then which op amp will you choose?
20.
20. Now you should ask the question to yourself that CMRR value should be ideally it should be infinite, means you should go for the op amp having maximum CMRR value, right? 30. So what will happen if you go for the maximum CMRR value? The maximum common mode voltage will be suppressed by it ना, मतलब नॉइज उतना ही कम वो सप्रेस करे, मतलब उतना ही ज़्यादा सप्रेस करेगा. So always remember that we want the value of CMRR, that is common mode rejection ratio. The name itself tells you common mode signal means noise, RR is nothing but rejection ratio. So this ratio should be as high as possible, as maximum as possible, and ideally it should be infinite. Okay, so there is just one note for you that high value of CMRR means op amp has better ability to reject common mode signals like electrical noise. So ideally CMRR should be infinite. This is very nice concept, and generally it can be asked for 2 to 3 marks. And also this is very important Viva question regarding op amp. Okay, so then we will move ahead. Then there is one parameter again, it is called as slew rate. Okay, so what do you mean by slew rate is just the definition and concept is very important here. Okay, so the slew rate is a maximum rate of change in output voltage per unit time. Slew rate is nothing but the maximum rate of change in the output voltage per unit time. The slew rate indicates how fast the output of an op amp can change in response to the changes in the input frequency. Okay, so what is actually a slew rate? Suppose let's say this is your input, black waveform, it is shown in the black waveform, black color waveform. Suppose this is your input, it is nothing but a square wave. So it is varying like this. So at this particular point, okay, at this particular point you can observe that it is suddenly varying from 0 volt. Let's say this level is 0, this is 0 level, 0 volt level, and this is 5 volt level. That's for the sake of our understanding. So within no time it is suppose varying from 0 to 5. This is your input signal. But at the output of op amp, if you observe that at the output of op amp, this change, that is this change from 0 to 5, which was instantaneous in case of input, but if you observe the output of op amp, it will take some time. It will take some time to rise from 0 volt to 5 volt. You can observe here. So this time duration is nothing but delta T, and this change in voltage is nothing but delta V. So this rate of change of, so the rate of output voltage with respect to change in time is called as slew rate. Okay, so what happens due to this? So ideally we don't want this. Okay, this delta T should be as minimum as possible. Ideally our output should react instantaneously to the change in the input. अब ये देखो डेल्टा टी के बाद ये चेंज हो रहा है एट द मैक्सिमम पॉइंट. So you can observe that this much, nearly half, this much, nearly half of your waveform or half of the on time. Suppose this is your on time, ये जो 5 वोल्ट के ऊपर है, है ना. सो हाफ आपका टाइम उसी में जा रहा है टू राइज फ्रॉम 0 to 5 volt. So due to that, what happens that it limits the operation of op-amp. All right. So hence, ideally, we want this particular time delay, that is delta t, it should be as minimum as possible. Now this is the slew rate formula. That slew rate is nothing but d dt of v out. D dt is nothing but the rate of change of. But this rate of change of v out should be maximum. This is just a formula. Now just apply this concept here that we required this delta t should be as minimum as possible. So this delta should be, ideally you want it as 0. कम से कम चाहिए, मतलब आइडियल की भाषा में अगर मैं बोलूँ, आइडियली आई वांट दिस एज 0. whenever I will say ideal value, that will be either 0 or infinite. If I want minimum value of something, then its ideal value will be 0. If I want maximum value of something, then its ideal value will be infinite. Okay, so in this case, this delta t means time required to change should be 0. Now if you observe this particular formula, so time is nothing but in the denominator. So ideally this denominator should be 0. So that means your slew rate should be ideally, anyone? So listen, slew rate is nothing but this particular formula. Okay, so numerator will be associated with the change in output voltage and denominator will be associated with time. We have seen that what is actually slew rate? When input changes suddenly from 0 to 5 volt, आपका आउटपुट में भी इंस्टेंटेनियस चेंज चाहिए, right? But what happens at the output? It will take some time to raise from 0 volt to 5 volt, let's say. So this time is nothing but delta t. So what happens due to this extra time? What happens due to the slew rate? That it limits the operation of your op-amp. Means this is undesirable thing. So ideally this delta t should be as minimum as possible. मीन्स जैसे ये इनपुट आपका रेज हो रहा है फ्रॉम 0 to 5, वैसे ही इसी इंस्टेंट पे आपका आउटपुट भी वेरी होना चाहिए, इसी इंस्टेंट पे आइडियली अगर बात की जाए तो, क्योंकि इनपुट भी वही इंस्टेंट पे हाई हो रहा है. तो अगर इसी इंस्टेंट पे अगर आपका आउटपुट हाई हो गया, मतलब डेल्टा टी की वैल्यू क्या हो जाएगी? 0. राइट. सो आइडियली डेल्टा टी शुड बी 0. Now delta t is nothing but the denominator of this particular formula. So if denominator is 0, then what will be the slew rate?
Infinite.
Infinite. Correct.
Right.
Very good. So that was my question. So ideally slew rate should be infinite. Okay. अगर आपके मन में अगर क्वेश्चन आया कि कौन सा भी पैरामीटर इज गिवन एंड इफ आइडियल वैल्यू इज आस्क्ड, then you should always apply this logic that whether you required this particular parameter value to be maximum or minimum. Okay, by going with this particular logic, you will be able to understand, or you will be able to tell the ideal value of your particular parameter. Okay, so ideally it should be infinite, but practically this is the value. Practically this value is given by 0.5 volt per microsecond. ओके, तो पर माइक्रोसेकंड मतलब पर 10⁻⁻⁶ तो आपको लगेगा ये वैल्यू सर तो बहुत कम दिख रही, लेकिन ये डिनोमिनेटर ऊपर जाके फिर बड़ी वैल्यू हो जाती है. इसका मीनिंग क्या है 0.5 वोल्ट पर माइक्रोसेकेंड? इट मीन्स दैट when आपका इनपुट इज changing from 0 to 5 volt, the output will take 1 microsecond for raising 0.5 volt. In other words, the output will take output will take 1 microsecond of time to raise from 0 to 0.5 volt. Then again from 0 to 1 अगर आपको raise करना है from 0 volt to 1 volt, then it will take 2 microsecond and like that. Okay, so this is the meaning. So this is very short concept, but you should remember this is important one also. So again, what is slew rate? So slew rate is basically maximum rate of change in output voltage per unit time. Why it is useful? Because it tells you how fast the output of op amp can change. इनपुट देने के बाद आधे घंटे बाद अगर चेंज हो रहा है तो वी डोंट वांट दैट, राइट? Suppose input is changing, then your output should also change instantaneously. And slew rate is nothing but the parameter of how fast your op amp output is changing when your input corresponds to the any change. Okay, all right. So now this table is very important and many times question asked on this particular table. Many times question will ask like this: explain or give the ideal values of all the parameters of op amp, or compare the ideal and practical value of the op amp. You must remember this. Ideal value so you can remember easily. There will be no problem at all. Just you have to ask one question only, that this parameter you want it maximum or minimum. Suppose you want any of this parameter maximum, then we will say that it is ideal value of that particular parameter is infinite. If you want your parameter should be minimum, then the ideal value should be 0. So there will be no problem as far as ideal values are concerned. But you should remember these values. So these values are practical values for the IC741. So IC741 is nothing but a op amp IC, general purpose used op amp IC. It is very famous op amp IC. Okay, we will see about it also. So we will just quickly take this review. So first parameter is our voltage gain. It is also called as open loop voltage gain. When there is no connection between input and output, then it will be called as open loop voltage gain. So we know that op amp has high gain. So what should be the ideal value for it? It has to be infinite, you know. And practically the value is for this particular IC. Again, the gain value will change. These all values will change. Practical values will change depending on which IC you are using. So remember, these values are for IC741, which was the first op amp IC. Okay. So ideally, voltage gain should be infinite, but practical value is 2 multiplied by 10 to the power 5. That means 2 lakh. Then second parameter is input impedance. So input impedance should be as high as possible. So ideally it should be infinite. Practically its value is 2 mega ohm. Mega means anyone? 2 mega ohm means kitna? 10 to the power hmm? 10 to the power 3. और कोई? आपको स्पीड कैसे चाहिए? आपके इंटरनेट की फास्ट चाहिए ना? एमबी में चाहिए सर, एमबी में. एमबी मतलब मेगाबाइट. मेगाबाइट मतलब पता होना चाहिए ना आपको. व्हाट डज मेगा स्टैंड फॉर? नहीं, 10 to the power 12 नहीं. It is 10 to the power 6. Okay. The denomination for this particular is kilo is nothing but 10 to the power 3. Mega is 10 to the power 6. Giga है ना, 1 Gbps जो बोलते हैं, 1 giga is nothing but 10 to the power 9. टेरा मीन्स 1 TB की हार्ड डिस्क चाहिए, 10 to the power 12, like that. 10 to the power 6 is not micro. 10 to the power -6 is micro. Okay, don't get confused. एक बार शांति से बैठ के पूरा वो एक बार देख लो, बिकॉज इफ यू पुट दिस वैल्यूज रॉन्ग, देन योर सपोज क्वेश्चन आया भी, आपने पूरी मेथड भी प्रॉपर की, लेकिन आपका आंसर विल बी रॉन्ग. ठीक है. सो 2 मेगा ओम इज नथिंग बट 2 into 10 to the power 6. दैट मीन्स आप देख लो 20 लाख होता है शायद, 20 लाख ओम. दिस इज वेरी हाई इनपुट इम्पिडेंस. Output impedance should be ideally 0, because we want output impedance to be as minimum as possible. And for IC741 it is 75 ohm. Then bandwidth is again one important parameter. So ideally we want bandwidth to be very high. So ideally we want infinite, but practically it is 1 megahertz. CMRR, that is common mode rejection ratio, we have already seen. Ideally it should be infinite, but practically its value is 90 decibel. Slew rate, again also slew rate is also we want ideally infinite, but practically it is 0.5 volt per microsecond. Okay. Then input offset voltage, input offset current, input bias current, these all should be ideally 0, because we don't want any current or any voltage when your input voltages are 0, right? This is a common understanding, or common sense rather, that these all three should be minimum, as minimum as possible. So that's why ideal value should be 0. And these are the different practical values. We have already seen that. This is very important table. And this is the structure of IC741. Actually, it is not actually included in your syllabus, but you should aware of it. Right. So practicals generally we do practical on this particular IC only. So the IC741 operational amplifier IC was first manufactured by Fairchild Semiconductors in the year 1968. So this is just for your information. The number 741 itself has no such meaning. Okay, but some sources have mentioned that it can carry some meaning. So what is that meaning? It can be remembered as IC having 7 functional pins. So now this is the diagram of your IC. This is having total 8 pins. But out of total 8 pins, the 8th number pin is not connected. Right? This particular pin is N/C लिखा है ना. So it is not connected to anything. So we don't use this particular, but it is provided only for the sake of symmetric. Right? अगर 7 ही पिन रहते तो this IC would not be symmetric. तो आईसी जनरली आपने देखे होंगे, जितने भी आईसी जनरली दे आर नथिंग बट अ सिमेट्रिक इन नेचर. Same number of pins on one side and same number of pins on another side. So just to provide the symmetry, this additional pin is given, which is always will be not connected to. So you can remember this as 7 stands for 7 functional pins. 4 pins are nothing but the input. Now we know that op amp has only 2 inputs. This is second pin is inverting input and third pin is non-inverting input. But इन्होंने तो यहाँ पे 4 बोला है सर, तो कैसा? तो they have just added 2 voltage supplies, है ना. minus VCC or minus VE and plus VE. They have included this. If you observe that you have to give power supply to the IC externally only, so you can call it as these two are also input, you know, because without this power supply this IC won't be functional. So hence they have taken 4 pins total. वैसे तो दो ही इनपुट है, बट दो आपको वोल्टेज सप्लाई भी ऐड करना पड़ेगा, एक प्लस और एक माइनस. So 4 pins capable of taking input and one output pin. Output pin is nothing but this particular output. Only one output it is having. What about remaining pins? Pin number 1 and 5. So we have seen the concept of offset voltage, है ना. Offset voltage means जब आपके इनपुट दोनों के दोनों जीरो थे, when both of your input are zero, still you are getting some finite amount of voltage at the output. So in order to null that voltage, in order to make that output voltage equals to zero, these two pins are required. So you have to adjust these two pins correctly and make your output voltage equal to zero. So this process should be done before the use of this particular IC for your application. So अगर आपको एक आध एप्लीकेशन करना है आपके 741 IC का, तो सबसे पहले आपको क्या करना है, उसका ऑफसेट नल सेट करना पड़ेगा. ऑफसेट नल मतलब आउटपुट शुड बी इक्वल टू जीरो. उसके लिए ये दो पिन है. So it is not actually used while working. While working only these two inputs, two voltages and one output is used. So you can remember this 741 like this, that 7 stands for functional pins, 4 input pins are there. Again I am telling you 4 input pins are nothing but there will be 2 input pins only, but 2 additional voltage supplies also required and one output. So generally it is remembered like that. The main intention of this 741 op-amp is to strengthen AC and DC signals and for mathematical operation. So this is the main purpose of op-amp. So again this slide is just for the sake of your understanding. It is not included in our syllabus, but you should know that practically your op-amp IC is looking like this, because many of your third year mini projects will be associated in third year mini projects you will be using this IC, op-amp IC, right? So you should be aware of this. एक op-amp IC यूज करते हैं, देन एक मल्टी वाइब्रेटर की IC आते हैं, IC 555 टाइमर IC. सो ये दोनों ICs मैक्सिमम टाइम आप यूज करते हैं आपके प्रोजेक्ट्स में. ओके, so you should be aware of these two ICs. All right. Then this is very important concept. We will see in very briefly this particular concept here. I will explain this concept again in the next session. Don't worry about it. Very easy concept and very important concept, because without understanding this concept you cannot analyze your op-amp circuits. Okay, so now what is the concept of virtual ground is, now in the name itself it is given as virtual ground. Virtual ground means it is not real ground. We know that ground is nothing but in this particular, suppose this we have this circuit diagram, so this is nothing but a ground, है ना. ऐसा सिग्नल दिखा या फिर ऐसा साइन दिखा तो आप क्या बोलते हो, दैट दिस इज माय ग्राउंड सिग्नल, ग्राउंड टर्मिनल. बट ग्राउंड इज नथिंग बट, अगर प्रिसाइज लैंग्वेज में अगर बात की जाए तो एनी टर्मिनल विच इज हैविंग 0 volt एज इट्स पोटेंशियल और 0 volt एज इट्स voltage, then it is called as ground terminal. एक आध टर्मिनल होगा जिसका वोल्टेज 0 वोल्ट पे है, देन यू कैन कॉल इट एज अ ग्राउंड टर्मिनल और ग्राउंड. Okay, so as the name indicates, it is virtual, not real ground. In op-amp, the term virtual ground means that the voltage at particular node is almost equal to the ground voltage. Means when any of your node becomes approximately equal to 0, then you will name it as virtual ground. एक्चुअल में ग्राउंड नहीं रहेगा वो, बट सिंस उस पॉइंट पे the voltage will be equal to 0, we will call it as a virtual ground. It will be acting as a virtual ground. So it is not physically connected to ground. Again, I am telling you, like this, it is not physically connected to ground. This concept is very useful in the analysis of op-amp circuit, and it will make a lot of calculation very simple. So why we study this concept? Because it is very important as far as op-amp analysis is concerned, and again it will make calculations a lot more easier. We will see that. Now what is actually concept of virtual ground, मतलब क्या है सर? तो ठीक है, तो एक simple, until the discussion we have so far, now we understood that op-amp has a ideally infinite gain, है ना. अब तक ये तो पता चल गया है कि op-amp का gain कैसे होता है. Ideally it should be infinite, but what is actually gain? What is the definition of gain? So gain is nothing but the output voltage divided by input voltage, right? So output voltage divided by input voltage, ideally it should be infinite. Now what information you are getting from this fraction, just tell me. If you got this point, then you will be able to understand it very quickly. So just focus on this fraction, V out divided by V in equal to infinite. What it means? Anyone? What this fraction and what this expression is telling you about either V out or V in? Which information you are getting from this expression? If anyone can answer, please.
सर इनपुट वोल्टेज 0 असेल तेव्हा इन्फिनिटी येणार.
Yes, very correct. Absolutely correct. Very good. So from this equation, we know that this particular fraction will be equal to infinite only when your v in जब आपका denominator equal to 0 होगा, then only this fraction will be equal to 0. So from this particular expression, you can extract the information that the gain will be infinite only when V in equal to 0 volt, or in other words, for the infinite gain, the V in should be 0, one and the same thing, right? हर बार बोलते ओपैम का गेन हाई है, आइडियली इट शुड बी इनफाइनाइट, और रहता भी इनफाइनाइट आइडियली. तो दैट मीन्स अगर आपका आइडियल वैल्यू ओपैम्प के गेन का अगर इनफाइनाइट है, दैट मीन्स आइडियल वैल्यू फॉर वी इन शुड बी 0. सो दिस पॉइंट यू शुड रिमेंबर. नाउ वी विल सी. ठीक है सर, वी इन 0 होना चाहिए, वी इन 0 रहता है, ये इतना समझ में आ गया. देन द नेक्स्ट पॉइंट इज, so this is the same. Okay, so when gain is infinite, the input voltage V in must be 0. This much is understood for now. Okay, but we know for op amp what is V in. So let's assume this is in this diagram, this is V1, okay, and this is V2. So what will be the input? What will be V in? We know that op amp is nothing but a differential amplifier. It must be differential amplifier. So don't look this V in, okay. This V in is, don't worry about this V in. ये आपका additional extra V in है ना. Input voltage, we are observing the input voltage to the This is your external V, external voltage. Don't get into that. In this diagram, what will be the, for op amp, what will be the input? It will be nothing but the difference between V1 minus V2. We have seen that. Why? Because op amp is nothing but the differential amplifier. Okay. So we have seen that here input voltage is nothing but the difference between voltages at inverting and non-inverting terminals. Okay, fine. So Vin equal to V1 minus V2. But we know that Vin should be 0. Just now we have extracted the information. In order to become gain equals to infinity, your Vin should be 0. So Vin, when I am putting the value of Vin 0 here, then I am getting 0 equal to V1 minus V2. That means V1 should be equal to V2. V1, that is this particular point, red node. It is nothing but a voltage at inverting terminal and V2 is nothing but a voltage at non-inverting terminal. Okay, तो आप इसको भी V2 बोल सकते हैं, इसको भी V1 बोल सकते हैं. Okay, you can interchange that doesn't matter. But what it tells you that op amp is having infinite gain, that means this Vin should be 0, and due to that what happens, your V1 becomes equals to V2. That means the simple meaning of this is the your conclusion. What is the concept of virtual ground? So the simple meaning of virtual ground is that the potential at inverting and non-inverting terminal is always same. Just remember this point throughout the chapter, that what is virtual ground? The potential at inverting and non-inverting terminal will be always same. Why we got this condition? Due to its property of high gain. Okay. If any one of these two terminals is grounded, then the second terminal will also have ground potential. Now this is very important. Now we have understood V1 will be always equals to V2. But now you can observe in this particular circuit diagram that V2 is connected to zero potential. This is ground potential, 0 volt. Right? So we can clearly state that by using the concept of virtual ground, this particular point, it can be also treated as ground. So this concept is called as virtual ground. You can call this point as virtual ground. It is not a real ground, okay? You should remember this. It is not connected. It is physically, it is not connected to the ground, but it is acting like a ground. So that's why it is called as virtual ground. I will again repeat this particular concept in the next session. Since it is already 5 minutes ahead, so we will stop this particular today's lecture here. If you are having any doubt, then you can ask me. Don't leave the meeting. I will just let you know when to leave the meeting. Just one announcement I have to make. Okay. So if you are having any problem, then you can ask me.